Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So thank you very much for everyone for coming to this Hare Krishna festival. Very honored to be in the presence of very senior devotees of Krishna here. Mahakata Prabhu has been heading our ISKCON in Sri Lanka for almost 40 years, I think. And Hariprada Prabhu and his wife Falani Mataji, they're also preaching Krishna consciousness for more than 40 years. So we're very blessed to be in the presence of all of the devotees. Everyone who is chanting Hare Krishna is glorious. Now some people may think this is a very strange kind of religion. To sing and bang drums and jump up and down, to some people it might not seem very religious. Generally we think of religion as being very calm and sober. We may offer prayers to God in a very grave manner, gambhira, or we may meditate very quietly, silently. But actually this singing the names of Krishna and dancing is the best form of religion, especially in this Kali Yuga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna appeared in this world 5,000 years ago. Just one thing. Devotees standing at the door, Hare Krishna. Please see, people are coming. Please help them to arrange that they get seats. No, not you get seats. Arrange that others get seats. Help you see where there are some empty seats and arrange it for them. If necessary, these boys, these little children they can sit on the floor and let newcomers come. So Lord Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago and he gave the best spiritual knowledge by speaking Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna established that he himself is the Supreme Lord and that the highest religion is to abandon all other kinds of religion and just to surrender to him. Sarvadhaman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja ahang tvang sarva papebhyo moksha yishami mashuchaha. You can just give it. But after Krishna left, the Kali Yuga began, and not many people were able to catch the essence of his teachings. So Krishna came 4,500 years later as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he taught the best method of God realization, especially for this Kali Yuga, is chanting the names of Krishna. Especially this Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, due to the influence of Kali Yuga, many people who are not the Supreme Lord, they are claimed to be the Supreme Lord. So, can someone please help the newcomers to get seats? If necessary, move these children out. They can sit on the floor. Yes, in India there are so many people claimed to be God who are not actually God. But who is actually God, that we can understand from Shastra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, but nevertheless he took sannyas. There is no need for him to take sannyas. He is above all considerations such as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, sannyas. But because people considered to be him an ordinary person, he took sannyas. Because people tend to respect sannyasis. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very important message to communicate. So if people respect someone, then they're more likely to listen to what he has to say. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's main method of propagation of Krishna consciousness was by chanting the names of Krishna. And sometimes he was misunderstood for this. especially when he was chanting and dancing in Banaras. That is a place of Mayavadi sannyasis. Mayavadi sannyasis means they're very strict in their practice. They study the Vedas. Their main activities are studying the Vedas and meditation. So they were very surprised to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's a sannyasi, who they thought should be just studying the Vedas and meditating, very quiet activities, singing and dancing in public. They couldn't understand it at all. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with them and he explained on the basis of Vedic knowledge that Krishna consciousness, accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this is the ultimate message of the Vedas. And to chant the names of Krishna is the best way to serve Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted, Prithivite ache jatanagara digram savatra pracha hoibe moranam. My name will be broadcast in every town and village of the world. And actually this has come to pass. The holy names of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been spread all over the world. Srila Prabhupada has brought the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. And this is very much needed at the present time. Of course, it's needed at all times. But at the present time, people are very confused, very unhappy, and very sinful. People are confused. They think that they will be happy just by getting more money. If I get a new smartphone, then I will be happy. So people are confused because they work very hard to get all kinds of things that they think will make them happy, but they don't become happy. And they're confused because so many people say so many different things to them. All kinds of people are trying to give them different messages. You should be a Christian, you should be a Muslim, you should this, that. So many messages are going on. Someone is saying, don't have any religion. This atheistic propaganda is becoming very prominent now in the Western world. So people are confused and they are unhappy. And they don't understand why they're unhappy. They're saying, well, if I have money and I have a house and I have a family, I should be happy. But no one is happy. So they become more confused and then they become more sinful. Nowadays people don't even know what is sin and what is proper behavior. At least previously people used to understand that to eat meat and take intoxication, these things are sinful. Illicit sex, this is sinful. But in today's consumer society where the advertisements, they're advertising, eat meat, drink wine, have illicit sex, then people, they don't even know what is right and what is wrong. This is the symptom of a demoniac society. Pravriting chana janana vidurasuraha. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that people who do not know what to do and what not to do, what is right and what is not right and what is wrong, such people are demoniac. So most people, they're not bad at heart, but they are misled. There is no proper spiritual guidance. There are many priests and gurus and swamis, but there is no genuine spiritual guidance. There's a great lack of people who can tell you how you should live your life in a proper way. So this Krishna conscious movement is meant for giving people spiritual life. We are all spiritual beings. We are not this body. We put so much attention on the body, but the body will die very soon. We see here young children. We see here old people. Within a short time, the old people will be young people. Or maybe not young people, maybe young cats or dogs or whatever. Actually, anyone who comes to this Hare Krishna festival, even if only once in your life you chant Hare Krishna, you will never go again. You won't go down to the lower species of life. Guaranteed at least human birth. But we're changing from body to body to body. But in this, without spiritual knowledge, we put more importance on the body than the soul. We become so interested in making arrangements for this body. But this body will die very soon. Then we'll get another body, and then another body. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. This is our life. We get born, we die, we get born, we die, into a mother's womb, out, into a mother's womb, out, again and again and again. So this singing and dancing, it's not just like some cheap entertainment, but it is based on the factual spiritual knowledge that we are all spiritual beings. We get body after body after body, and we suffer again and again and again. Why don't we think about this? Well, one reason is because no one tells us. The children, they go to school, they start school, many people they go to school, then college, university, they take up 20 years of their life at school. And no one ever teaches them the most important thing that they should learn. That this human life is meant for getting free from the cycle of birth and death. So this Hare Krishna movement is meant for giving the knowledge by which we can get free from birth and death, and by which we can come to the eternal position of happiness in the spiritual world in service to Krishna. So actually, if we understand these spiritual facts, we can understand this Krishna consciousness, it's not just some singing and dancing and having fun, but it is an urgent necessity for every person. We have achieved this human life after many, many births. Labdva sudur labhamidang bahusam bhavanti manusham arthadam anityam apihadhera turnam yatetan apatedanu yava nishrayasa vishayakalu sarvatasyat. Now this is a verse spoken by Lord Krishna. Now I'll just explain the meaning of that. Now please listen very carefully, because it's the most important thing you can hear. Krishna teaches that now we who are in human bodies, we have got this human body after many, many, many lives. It is very rare to get a human body. We go through so many species of life in the cycle of birth and death. So this human life is very rare. We get it after a long time. But it only lasts a short time. We're born, we grow up, we grow old, we die. So Krishna tells us that even though this life is short, it is very valuable. Because there is one special feature of human life which we don't get in any other species. Sometimes it is said that the human is an intelligent animal. Well, in one sense that's true. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanya maitat pashubhe naranam. Humans and animals, they both eat, they both sleep, they both feel fear and therefore they fight, and they both engage in procreation. Sex. So what is the difference between a human and an animal? We may say, well, the human is more intelligent. Well, in some ways, yes. But in some ways, the lower species, they may be more intelligent than humans. For instance, the birds, they know how to get some pieces of straw and make a nest. You cannot make that. So in some ways, the animals, they may be more intelligent than the humans. But the difference is this: Jnanam hitesham adhiko vishesham jnanena hina pashubhya. That humans, they can attain knowledge. Knowledge here doesn't mean how to build nests or how to build houses, but to understand who we are, why we are suffering in this material world, how we can get free from this suffering. So sometimes this verse, it's also stated, dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesham. The special facility of human life is dharma. So without this spiritual knowledge, or without following dharma, a human being is just eating, sleeping, mating and defending. A human being is only an animal. So getting back to that other verse I was explaining, Lord Krishna says, human life is very valuable. It won't last very long. You're all going to die. I'm not cursing you, I'm just stating a fact. Generally people don't like to hear this. We should hear it. You're all going to die. What will happen after that? Some people say, well, we don't know, we'll find out when that happens. Some people say that, well, when you die, everything's finished. Some people say, well, you can't tell, no one can tell. But there is knowledge. That knowledge is given in the Vedas. What happens after death? As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Urdhanga chanti sattvasto madhe tishtanti rajasaha jaghanya guna vritisto adhoga chanti tamasaha. Those who act well in sattva gun, they go up, they get a higher birth. Sattva gun means to live a pure life. Those who are in rajagun, those who are not very sinful but not very pious also, they're just interested in material enjoyment, they stay in this earthly sphere. And persons who live very degraded, sinful lives, they get born in lower species, like animals, fish, birds, plants, snakes, and so on. So Lord Krishna says that, all right, we're going to die. But before we die, we should do whatever is required that we don't get born again. We're all going to die. How many times? We've all been born and we've all died many, 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 many times. It is absolutely possible for everyone in this room that when you leave your body this time, you will not be born again. Everyone present here, when inevitably we have to leave the body, we can go to the spiritual world with Krishna. We don't have to be born again. You may think, well, I want to get born again. I want to be happy in this world. Krishna says, Vishaya khalu sarvata syat. You can get sense gratification in all species of life. But there's no happiness anywhere. There's no real happiness. Whatever so-called happiness there is in this material world is very slight. And it's accompanied by so much distress. So Krishna says, do what is required so that we don't get born again. And what is that? As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyame vangyo veti tatvataha tyaktva dehang punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. You can give the translation. If we simply understand that Krishna, He comes to this world, but He is not part of this world. He is the Supreme Lord. All His activities are divine. If we simply accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we no longer get born. Now, not everyone is pious enough to accept this. And someone may say, well, why Krishna? Why not Jesus or Allah or Buddha? Then you study, you use the intelligence that God has given you. You study what is stated in Shastra. What is the definition of the Supreme Lord? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasya shriyaha jnana vairagya yoschaiva shannang bhaga itingina. You can give the translation of this also. Jnanam, Saundarya, Vairagya. So all these qualities are present in full in Krishna. To understand this may take many lifetimes of Vedic study. But in Kali Yuga, people have very short lives, and because their minds are always disturbed, they have very little inclination to study Shastra. And even if they study or they try to study Shastra, there are many people who give them wrong guidance. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives this chanting of Hare Krishna. This will purify the consciousness. Then we can understand what is the actual message of Shastra. So it is a fact that if we take very seriously to this process of Krishna consciousness, then we will be benefited in the best possible way. And we can benefit others also in the best possible way. Generally, people are very concerned how to benefit their family. Well, that is natural in one way. But then the birds and the fishes, they're also concerned about their children. So in another way, it's not very exalted. But if we really want to benefit our family members in the best possible way, we should give them this life of Krishna consciousness. Generally the parents today, they push their children, get more and more education. Then you can get more money. Then you can be more happy. But we don't find that the people who have more money, they're more happy. They are living comfortably, that's maybe true. But they're also full of anxiety. So the best thing we can give to our children and our parents and our brothers and sisters is knowledge of Krishna, by which they can become free from birth and death and live eternally in the spiritual world with Krishna. So this is a very great subject. To understand it may take some time. But everyone can immediately start to chant Hare Krishna. Understanding or not understanding, we will get great benefit by chanting Hare Krishna. So obviously everything cannot be said in one small, short session. Therefore, we request you to take these books. Our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada went all over the world and preached Krishna consciousness. And he also wrote many books, translations of the authorized Shastras, especially Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, in concise form, is all the Vedic knowledge. And in expanded form, it's there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So by understanding this, the knowledge that is given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand everything that we need to know to perfect our lives spiritually. So we request all the educated and intelligent people to study these books very carefully, by which we can understand who we are, who is God, how to live our lives in such a way that we can become spiritually perfect, and give this knowledge to others. It is the great need of modern society, this chanting of the holy names of Krishna and distributing genuine spiritual knowledge. This point will be demonstrated in the drama which is about to come. So the drama brings the point home very well, that without Krishna consciousness, we remain foolish. Abodhajata. Parabhavastavad abodhajata yavanna jignyasata atmatattvam. As we may have a very big house and a very big car and a very big position, but we are born in ignorance of who we actually are. And if we do not inquire into these matters, then the whole purpose of our life is defeated. So please take up this chanting of Hare Krishna and very carefully study Srila Prabhupada's books. Follow everything therein and your life will be perfect. There are also CD recordings with Tamil translations of Srila Prabhupada's lectures. Hare Krishna. Does anyone have any question, please? Hare Krishna.
King Arjuna is attached to Kshatriya class.
King who?
Kshatriya.
Arjuna. Arjuna was a Kshatriya.
And it was told to him, the Bhagavad Gita was told.
Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna to Arjuna.
How it is applicable to all other classes like Vaishya, Brahmana and Sutra, totally or partially?
Yeah, this knowledge is applicable to everyone because the essence of Krishna's teaching is Atma-gyan, knowledge of the Atma. Now, the immediate purpose of Krishna speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna was to convince Arjuna to fight, to perform his duty as a Kshatriya. That's true. But the underlying or prominent message of Bhagavad Gita is that everyone should act on the platform of Atma. In this world, one should perform his duties according to the position he has attained, according to his previous karmas. But we get different forms of life. I already quoted that verse that urdhvanga chanti satvasta, that we go up or down or remain in the middle according to our activities. So that is applicable to everyone. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Yehi sangsparsha ja bhoga dukha yona evateya dyantavanta kontaya nateshu ramate buddhaha, that if we try to enjoy through the senses, we simply suffer. Therefore, an intelligent person does not try to enjoy the senses. So this is applicable to everyone. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva yonesha kauntaya murtaya sambhavanti yaha tasang brahma mahadyane ahang bija pita prada. Ahang bija prada pita. Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father of all living beings, not only kshatriyas, for everyone. He says, Mamaivangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. All living beings are part and parcel of me. And his ultimate instruction to everyone is Sarvadhaman parittaja mamekam sharanang vraja. You give up all thoughts of I'm Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and just surrender to me. So you please study very carefully this Bhagavad Gita as it is, Unmai Uravil, and everything will be understood. It's a common misunderstanding actually among Western people. We don't find in India, but among Western people they think that it's just getting Arjuna to fight. That's all. Yes, that is the immediate message, but the main message for everyone is to act in this world in Krishna consciousness. Even though Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to incite Arjuna to fight, the followers of Vedic culture, they have traditionally not been a very aggressive kind of people. Bhagavad Gita has never been misunderstood as an incitement that in the name of religion we should go and kill others and conquer others. Generally the followers of Bhagavad Gita are very peaceful people. Arjuna was also a peaceful person. He fought because he had to fight. Otherwise he didn't want to fight. Any other questions? Okay, is the fool ready? He's not. The fool has to get ready. There's going to be more kirtan now? So you have to go and quickly become a fool, is it? But you don't enter for the first 10-15 minutes. You have, okay. Alright, so we've been speaking about God, the highest being. But actually you're not the fool, it's the king who's the fool, right? Yeah, but they think that you're the fool. Okay. So now we're going to find out about a fool. God, Krishna, means the most knowledgeable and intelligent. So now please stay for the drama and find out who is a fool. Actually the real message is that everyone is watching it. But they don't tell them that. Thank you very much. Mekanandri. They turn the sound off. Mekanandri. I'm sorry I don't speak Tamil. I should speak Tamil also. Coming in. But I travel in different parts of the world and I can't learn so many languages. So Bhagavan knows all languages, but I'm not Bhagavan. So anyway, we can be very close and have a loving relationship with Krishna in the center, whether with language or not language. We all speak one language. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama